Good morning, and welcome to the Africa Weekly Talk. Today's subject on the docket is football news. Football news, talking about football, not American football. But soccer. Real football news. And this football news has to do with one of the most prolific footballers of our time, Kyllian Mbappe. And this has to do with a transfer offer put in place by a Saudi Arabia football club, Al-Hillal, to Mbappe's club, PSG Paris of France. And this offer in total was about 1.1 billion US dollars. And out of this 1.1 billion US dollars, Kyllian Mbappe is to receive about 775 or 776 million US dollars for a single season, and the transfer fee to PSG is about 332 million US dollars. So fellas, we're talking about 1.1 billion Buffalo Bills. That's what we're talking about. Come on, man. Come on. This news even had Lebron James and Giannis Atetokounmpo, another Nigerian great basketball player currently in the NBA, talking about it, that they were ready to move to Saudi Arabia in a heartbeat. You talk about Lebron James. Lebron James is what? Deals with Nike and all that stuff, over billions of dollars in deals with Nike and other sponsorships and all, and so on and so forth. And Giannis makes about $50-something million plus his deals with other Nike and other sponsorship, also going to almost $1 billion and so on. So we're talking about people like LeBron James even commenting on this deal that has been put in place by Al-Hillal of Saudi Arabia. 775 million US dollars for a single season. Are you kidding me? As of now, I don't know if he has taken the offer or he's going to take the offer, but I got a news feed this morning that basically said that he has refused to reach out to Al-Hillal, which I was kind of disappointed when I saw the news feed. But I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true and he takes this offer. And I'm going to dissect why I think this is an offer that he should never turn down. This offer, he should take this offer in a heartbeat. You're talking about people like LeBron James even commenting on this. This guy has deals close to over $1 billion, even commenting on it, that if he had this opportunity, he would run to Saudi Arabia in a heartbeat. And same with Giannis Atetokounmpo. Fellas, look, I understand some people will say that everything is not about money and this and that, all that stuff. But let me tell you something. In life, everything is about money. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says. 99% of your life is centered around money. And everything in life is about money. So don't fool yourselves into that poor man's thinking that life is not about money, life is not about this and all of that stuff. Look, life is about money. And money buys all kind of happiness. It might not buy you everything 100%, but you know what? I'd rather prefer to be rich and sick than poor and sick. So fellas, let me dive straight into this issue. Now, I can remember a quote going back, I think 1984, by Joseph Luis Nunes, who was the president of Barcelona Football Club. When they signed Maradona when they transferred Maradona to Napoli for $10.5 million in 1984. At that time, that was the world record. The highest paid player in the world was Diego Maradona. $10.5 million. And Joseph Luis Nunes was asked about it at the press conference. And this is his quote. He said, as a player, your career can be very short. And when you get the opportunity to get a better offer, you better take advantage of it and take it. This is what former president of Barcelona, I mean, this is a football guy. This is what he said about Maradona's record of $10.5 million transfer to Napoli. He said, your career can be short as a football player. So when you get a better offer and you get an opportunity, you take it and go. So now, looking at that quote from a former football man, Luis Nunes, what else do we have to talk about? I mean, this is a life-changing, generational wealth building if Kyllian Mbappe takes this offer. I mean, we're talking about $775 million US dollars for one season. For one season. I mean, look, I understand when, you know, the bad rap about Saudi Arabia with regards to, especially about a couple of years ago when the Washington Post reporter Khashoggi was killed in Turkey, and it was linked to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia and all that stuff. So there's this bad rap about Saudi Arabia. So basically now I think there's a lot of pressure on Mbappe and his family that, you know, Saudi Arabia is this and that and all that stuff. But fellas, I hope you and your family don't buy into that. Please, don't. This is about money. Okay? We're talking about almost $1 billion money. Generational wealth building for your family and your father's family, mother's family in Algeria, in Cameroon, and Nigeria, and all of that. And we talk about generational wealth building. And you don't let this opportunity slide because of what somebody thinks about another country. Because at the end of the day, if this deal were to be from an European club, let's say Real Madrid, okay, or let's say Chelsea, I don't think there will be any doubt about him taking this deal because it's in Europe. But you know what? Look, I don't buy into that stuff. At the end of the day, it's all about the money. Okay? Now you have Ronaldo playing in Saudi Arabia. Okay? What is wrong with Ronaldo playing in Saudi Arabia for $200 and something million? You have Messi now playing in America. As a matter of fact, Messi was also offered similar deal. But he also was offered a deal in America, and the deal in America, in the long run, looks better because of the opportunity for him to own one of the American football clubs, as well as the streaming deal with Apple and other networks in America and all that stuff. So I can understand Messi's deal, okay? But even if I were to be Messi, I would have taken the Saudi Arabia deal first and then later come to America later. But anyway, with regards to Mbappe's deal, we're talking about $775 million. I mean, look, fellas. Yes, I understand the issue with Saudi Arabia. I get all of that. But this is the hypocrisy of the West. I mean, with the death of Khashoggi, which has become the mainstream cry by Western media about Saudi Arabia and all that stuff. Look, wasn't President Biden in Saudi Arabia last year also fist bumping the Crown Prince, the so-called Crown Prince, that he was linked to the death of Khashoggi? You had a U.S. president fist bumping him in Saudi Arabia. I mean, come on, fellas. So if the U.S. president can go and fist bump the Crown Prince, whom is being alleged to be involved in the death of Khashoggi, what has that got to do with Kyllian Mbappe? You are just a football player, fellas. You are just an ordinary citizen earning a living. God damn it. I mean, come on. Don't let that new stuff talking about blood money and all that nonsense get into your way. I'm sorry. You are just an ordinary citizen earning a living. At the end of the day, look at it this way, fellas. Aren't European countries still trading with Saudi Arabia in oil? Why haven't they stopped trading with Saudi Arabia? Why haven't they banned Saudi Arabia, put trade sanctions on Saudi Arabia? So if they're all doing that, that tells you that, look, there's nothing wrong to take that Saudi money. Go ahead and take that Saudi money, because that money is a multi-generational wealth for your family. There's a big difference between $200 million and $500 million and $700 million. I know some people say, oh, he's wealthy, he's got a lot of money. So look, fellas, there's nothing like more money. Okay? Let me get this thing straight. There's nothing like enough money. Because if there's something called enough money, you won't have Elon Musk still investing. You won't have Bill Gates still investing. You won't have Warren Buffett still investing. You won't have Bernard Arnault, Renault, all these rich, wealthy families still investing and still making money. So there's nothing called enough money. That is a poor man's thinking. Okay? It's a poor man's thinking when they say it's enough money. No, the rich man doesn't think that way. Because if you look at these wealthy families, they are wealthy and their great grandchildren are still benefiting from their wealth that was accumulated by their great-grandfathers thousands of years or 500 years ago. So if you get the opportunity to build a generational wealth for your family, fellas, man, look, just take it. Take it and use that money to build that wealth for your family. Look, fellas, I remember about early this year when the Saudi Leaf Golf approached Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, and some of these great golf players for them to come on board with the Leaf Golf tournament and stuff, and they turned them down. But Phil Mickelson, an older guy with a lot of intelligence, a brainiac man, took the offer of about $200-something million, and other players also took the offer. And Phil Mickelson was chastised. I mean, this guy was chastised by American press, calling him everything they can call him. That he went and took blood money, 9/11 came from Saudi Arabia, and this and blah, 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 and all of that. For taking that 200-something offer from Leaf Golf to play for Leaf Golf tournament in Saudi Arabia. He was chastised. Lord and behold, just a couple of months ago, the very American golf club, PGA, is now merging with what? Leaf Golf. PGA is now merging with Leaf Golf. This very institution, this very golf institution that was chastising Phil Mickelson for taking the offer from Leaf Golf is now merging. It's now merging with Leaf Golf. I mean, fellas, you see the hypocrisy of mankind. That is why you don't make decisions based on others. You make decisions based on what is good for you. Now look at Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson now looks like a genius. And Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy and all those people look like dumb-ass idiots. Because at the end of the day, now you have Leaf Golf owning PGA. So is Tiger Woods not going to play golf anymore? Rory McIlroy not going to play golf anymore? Now they're going to go play, right? But who is laughing to the bank? Phil Mickelson, because he made a wise decision. You see, so at the end of the day, you always have to look at your interests and do what is good for you and your family. And that is exactly what I'm praying that Kyllian Mbappe will do for himself and his family. Because this is once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't let go of this opportunity. Don't let all this outside noise about Saudi Arabia, this, Saudi Arabia, that, and all that stuff, my friend. I don't know Kyllian Mbappe. I don't know any of his family members. I'm not his son, his brother, or his father, or anything. But there's only one advice that I will give him, if he can hear me. Take the offer. Take that offer. Don't let anybody convince you otherwise. Life is about money, brother. Life is about money. It's not about anything else, money. Because at the end of the day, this 775 million US dollars can do so much for your great grandchildren. They wouldn't have to struggle in life again because of this offer that you are going to have the opportunity to either take it or leave. And I hope you take it. I mean, look at it, fellas. Your father, who is from Cameroon and also has a Nigerian roots, left Cameroon to go to France instead of greener pastures. That is why he left Cameroon. He left Cameroon to go to France because he felt there's an opportunity in France. And by the grace of God, that opportunity came, got married to your mother, who also left Algeria and moved to France. And then they had you. So if you have the opportunity now to make it easier for generations and generations of your family roots, my friend, don't let this opportunity go. I get it. Some people will say, oh, George, this is not about money. It's not everybody. No. Fellas, this is not about him, the money for him. He has enough money. But if you have the opportunity to build this generational wealth for your family, for your great grandchildren that will come after you are way gone, you have to take advantage of it. And look at all these wealthy families around the world. Look at this Walmart family, Rockefeller family, Melonsky family. All these families' wealth were built by their great grandfathers. And today, when you are born into that family, you don't have to struggle with anything because that wealth is there for you. So when you get opportunity to do something like this for your family, I don't care what anybody says. You take advantage of it, and then you also build that to make it easier for generations and generations that will come after you. Okay? I mean, look, even let's assume even you don't want the money. $700 million is a lot of money. Just take $100 million or $200 million as a charitable fund for your father's village or your mother's village in Algeria and part of Nigeria or whatever. Build orphanage places, schools, hospitals in these communities. Use part of that money as a charitable organization and build these, schools, hospitals for these poor African communities in Cameroon, in Algeria, in Nigeria, and all these African on the African continent. And I bet you know what? 1,000 years from today, the people in those villages, in those countries, will always remember what you did for them. Even if you can use some of this money to do that humanitarian aid to these communities. I mean, can you imagine building schools, hospitals, orphanage homes in all these most poor African countries? Do you know how many lives that this charitable contribution that you are going to do is going to save in these poor African countries? And do you know how many people will grow up and they'll be thanking you and your family for the rest of their lives? And their children and great-grandchildren will continue to thank you and your family for giving them the opportunity to be able to go to school, able to have a place to stay, and to be able to build lives for themselves. Do you know how many families, people in different poor African countries, are going to be thanking you for the rest of their lives for that charitable thing if you do that? So, fellas, looking at this thing here, I get it. It's not about him. That's how I see it. This is my personal opinion. It's about taking advantage of the situation, using the opportunity to build that generational wealth. Look, at the end of the day, yes, you want to win championship. I get that. You've already won World Cup. Yes, you've already won the World Cup. You are currently, if not the best player in the world. Now, Remember, football is business. It's business. PSG right now is using you and they are making money off of you. 10 years from now, when you are retired, nobody will give a damn about you. Let's remember that, because there have been players and great athletes who have come before you that today nobody knows about. But if you are able to use this money to do some charitable work within your father's country of Cameroon, Nigeria, and your mother's country of Algeria and other parts of Africa, this charitable work that you will do will stay on forever. Will stay on forever. Any cup that you win in Europe, now the people will celebrate it now. I mean, your name will all over the place. But look, 10, 15, 20 years, nobody even will know your name. But with that charitable work, your name will forever be in the books in these countries. So look, my advice to Kyllian is this. I don't know you. I don't know your family. But for the sake of humanity, take that money. Take some of that money and use it to build these charitable institutions all across Africa. Because $200 million of that money will go a long way to save children's life in Africa. If you build hospitals, schools, orphanages, and so on and so forth. So please, take this offer. Don't let all these naysayers talking about, oh, it's blood money, it's Saudi Arabia, and all that stuff. At the end of the day, your country, where you live, Paris, France, European countries, America, they are still trading in Saudi Arabia. They are not complaining. They are still trading in Saudi Arabia. And this is a business, fellows. We're talking about business. This is not a charitable organization. They will dump you in a heartbeat when they don't need your services tomorrow. PSG will dump you in a heartbeat. So don't let loyalty. There's no loyalty in business. You go for what is in your best interest. And your best interest to me right now is taking this offer, using this offer to build charitable organizations in your various African countries from your motherland and your fatherland. And you will be honored by these people for the rest of their lives. So please, take my offer and take this offer. Thank you. If it's Sunday, it's the Africa Week.